But they were hamstrung by circumstances within the team, and they just couldn't make it.
Mr. Akinwunmi, with all of this, you are in there. So tell us what it's like. What was it like? I mean, were the expectations too high? Were they low? And why did you look as if the NFF wasn't really, well, would they say prepared or ready to invest in this team? Falcons especially.
Yes, I'm not quite sure that, first of all, the expectations are too high. I mean, that's our way in Nigeria. We expect to win. That is a good thing. And that's what we should aspire to be like. But the truth is, as an administrator, you need to look at a lot of circumstances that the public don't see. You need to consider what is realistic and what is not. We looked at the Flying Eagles. There looked a lot of opportunity for them to play good matches. Even within Nigeria, he spoke about the Super Six. You see, the Falcons are champions of Africa. And out of 9, I think, tournaments, they won 7. There really isn't that much competition for them in Africa. We need to get them fit. A lot of them are playing in the league in Nigeria at the time, before the World Cup. And they were playing that league. So we took a strategy where we thought the Flying Eagles had the opportunity to go to Germany because the male game is a bit more attractive. And many people want to see that and we want to attract the Flying Eagles because they're world champions. But here we had the qualifiers that the Falcons were playing anyway, and they played in Africa. So we had friendly games in Africa to play, for them to play and prepare for that. I use that also as preparation for the World Cup. So it's an issue of strategy. We also realized that we had a better chance with the Flying Eagles because of the pedigree. But we felt that we must continue to prepare the Falcons because on our priority, it's an issue of getting all our teams. We have 13 national teams. Getting all our teams to play at the highest level with the best legs that we have in the particular circumstances, financial circumstances we found ourselves. So it wasn't an issue of we thought, Falcons is rubbish, put them aside, let's face the Flying Eagles. No, it's that we had to allocate resources in line with the circumstances that we found ourselves. As far as the teams are concerned, we feel that we're making progress. Everybody might say, look, the Falcons, they didn't do well. But the truth is, that team was, that group in which they were, where it was a group of experienced, of world-class players, of world-class benches. So we're making progress, we're eating at the ladder. And we believe that before very long, in our scheme, in our plan, the Falcons will take on the world. And you can write it down today. By the next World Cup, we will be up there fighting for the cup because we do have a plan. As far as the Flying Eagles is concerned, it was unfortunate. That's the truth. It happened on the day in Germany. We played the German team. The German team that had 8 of their players playing in the Bundesliga, who have experience, who have a little more nuance. But we matched them. Unfortunately, as Colin said, there's a mistake by one midfielder. He lost the ball in the middle and he let it go. But it wasn't as if we were beaten 10-0. It could have been the other way. You know, the thing is, Nigerians should please be patient. As far as we're concerned, what has happened in the past has happened in the past. But going forward, we're an AFF that has a plan and has a structured plan. Okay. And therefore,
let's look at that plan, and let's the analyst also weigh into this. Let's look at the plan. When you started, you talked about the issues of funds.
Yep.
Now, budget, he mentioned the budgets that were submitted, 6 billion, cut down to 1 point. Yep. But there are sponsorships, and there's also the competitions.
Yep.
Yemi mentioned the fact that other competitions you've gone to, where you've won, some money's come to the NFF from these competitions. Yep. So what has, Nigerians might even ask you to, why don't you publish the expenditure nature of the NFF, structure of the NFF? How is it that these monies you've gotten all this far, you said you came to meet some debts. The monies you've gotten, What happened to them? What have you done with them? And then how do you intend to ensure that you don't have this kind of situation going forward?
Yes, when we came in, one of the first things we did was when we had our AGM in January, we got the Congress to appoint 3 consultants for us. One is Bid & Co, a world-renowned management consultant. The other is PricewaterhouseCoopers to be our auditors, and also financial derivatives to be our financial advisors. And the reason why we did this is that we felt that there must be world-class financial management and transparency in the running of the NFF. And I assure you that we have engaged them to look at the books from where we started off. And we will publish. I'll tell you that we will publish all you ask for, because that's part of the plan. In fact, we had a meeting with PricewaterhouseCoopers on Tuesday. They've given us an interim report. We've met with them and asked a few more questions. Once it's ready, we will publish what they want to see for the very first time, that this is how the NFF is being run, and these are the plans. We also intend in a few weeks to publish something called a youth football development policy for Nigeria, so that everybody can see and benchmark what we're doing against what we said we will do, and they can mark us off as we go along. That really is the plan. It's about transparency. A lot of our football has been second guessing.
You will still tell us more about these plans that you have, but I want to go to Ayotunde. What we've talked about funding. Okay, there was not so much funds to prepare the teams, but is there any blame for the coaches?
Oh, well, the coaches cannot exempt themselves from the blame. The funny thing is, those of us who are on the sidelines have bigger eyes, like they say. We can see exactly what the coaches are not seeing. I don't know, but, you know, looking at the way the 2 teams in question, the Falcons on one hand and the Flying Eagles on the other hand, looking at the way they prosecuted some of the games, they raised questions. You would agree with me. Let me take the Flying Eagles, for instance. Why did my coach Manu Garuba start, you know, Kelechi Iheanacho, Taiwo Awoniyi, Isaac Success, Musa Yahaya, 4 forward-going players together against Brazil, and then we lost? And then people are saying, in the game against Germany, okay, we played a powerhouse in Brazil, we played a powerhouse in Germany, we couldn't beat any of the 2. What did the coach do? What did he do wrong? You know, what did he not get right? Those are the questions. The Super Falcons, the defenders were out of sorts. Exactly what was the coach thinking? What was he doing? How did he prepare the girls for the game? You know, those are the millions of questions coming out of the mouths of Nigerians, you know, and I'm thinking the NFF may have to do even more. I know there are plans on the table. We've read a whole lot of them, the Prozone, match reading software and all of that. Our coaches need to be more empowered if we are going to succeed on the global scale. I know a lot of people have been talking about hiring foreign coaches. I won't even delve into that one. But I think whether it's a foreign coach or a local coach, there must be serious empowerment, the ability to study games very well and get the best out of the crop of players you have. I've always said the best players don't necessarily win competitions, but the best managed teams do win competitions. That is where I think empowerment of such coaches should come into play.
Colin, there are those who believe that all this might not work out if the sports, football industry continues to be an appendage of the sports ministry, in quote, as in politicizing it. Is it possible to separate the 2?
It should be, in all honesty. And, you know, I've always advocated that, you know, both at state and federal levels, that sporting body should be allowed to be independent. Because if you don't do that, you tie them to those apron strings, and those strings, rather than help them climb, you know, pull them down. You know, so yeah, in fairness, I do agree with you that, or with those people who say that they need to dissociate themselves, well, not, but at least disentangle themselves from those apron strings, and then in that way you get more professionals in, you get better funding, you get more transparency, which is something Seyi has talked about. And then naturally performance gets
when
better.
You say disentangle, how exactly would that work? Is it that the sports industry runs and pays royalties or taxes to the sports ministry, who remits to government, or the sports ministry just sets up the regulations for this industry to run?
Set regulations. If you need to put a certain sports tax on them to assist maybe a few others, because look, no matter how you look at it, there are always going to be sports who cannot survive on their own. So and those ones will probably need government assistance at some point. But you have the ones who can stand on their own 2 feet if you let them. So you let those ones stand on their own 2 feet and then contribute something. It's a bit like the pyramid structure that exists in the Premier League, where the big Premier League clubs make so much money from broadcast rights and sponsorship rights, and there's still parachute payments that go all the way down to the grassroots, from the first division all the way down to the grassroots. So it's that sort of plan, implement that sort of thing where the big sports like football, like athletics,